finally made it back to Indonesia, to be more exact, to West Sumatra. I first visited this wonderful region back in 2019 with no expectations. Only a few hours after arriving here, I just fell in love with it. Well, it was just so much better than I ever thought, and I got to realize there were far too many beautiful places I should have visited, and I really regretted of having planned so little time. Thus, I really wanted to revisit this place so badly. It became one of my biggest travel goals, returning here, and then finally, here I am. In this first episode about Western Sumatra, I'll be introducing you to the best attractions in the region southern to Padang. Now the first thing is how to get around. It's actually similar to Bali. The best way to get around is by car. Well, certainly in Western Sumatra, because there are so many beautiful hidden gems. And actually here it's not too different from Switzerland, because if you want to reach these places, then mostly the car is the only way to go. My friends and I, we chose to hire a local driver. For that we paid around 50 Singapore dollars a day. So you can see, it's actually really affordable. On our first day, we chose to explore the region southern to Padang, especially to visit this unique tree-root bridge called Jambatan Akar Bayang. The drive to this place seemed endless, but yet it was very enjoyable. Then suddenly we spotted this beautiful humble village called Sungai Lundang, and we chose to get around for a quick stop. We are now at the first stop at Sungai Lundang, and of course this is a less known place, but I feel it's very beautiful, so I really want to show this to you. Take a look. So probably should head to the region southern to Padang. I guess this village is just a perfect spot to get out of the car and stretch your legs and arms. The sounds of the water of the river, they were very calming. In general, the mood in there was really peaceful. And if I would have to describe this village, then I would say it's Jungle Book told in Indonesian. It then took us another 75 minutes to reach the bridge. Then we bumped into a Minangkabau wedding. They're, by the way, known for their unique dresses. And then finally, we got out at our first destination. We're now at this place called Jambatan Akar Bayang, which is a bridge grown from trees. And Hanafi discovered it.
Yeah, it looks so beautiful in pictures on Google. We just have to pay a visit and see how it looks like.
Oh, wow, this place is magical. And it looks much better than on the pictures. Such a great feeling to be here. Definitely the most unique bridge I've ever seen. I really loved the idea of integrating this bridge into the trees. Just really nicely adds up to the spot. Besides the bridge, probably also consider going for a swim. The river water is fast flowing, so it's definitely going to be safe. Try to also engage with the locals, though here bear in mind, many of them, they may not understand English, but what you can do, you can try to learn a few phrases in Indonesian. Then you'll quickly see these people here, they're actually very heartwarming. Really great to be here at the Jambatan Akar Bayang. Now we are proceeding to the seaside. We are going to show you a really great place where you can see the waves clashing and possibly also to witness a beautiful sunset. We probably could have spent hours in here, but then missing out on a lot of other beautiful places. And if I've really learned one thing on my first trip to Western Sumatra, the entire region is just full of hidden gems. So make sure when you come here, you keep exploring. so we then proceeded to our next destination, to the Air Terjun Bayang Sani. This here is the Air Terjun Bayang Sani, very nice waterfall. Could actually be in Bali, but it's here in non-touristy West Sumatra. Only costs you 5,000 rupiah to get in, and you can even go for a swim. It was just perfect to come in here. It was only 15 minutes away from the Akar Bayang bridge, and it also happened to be on the road to our subsequent destinations. Again, we were the only tourists in here, the rest they were all locals. I'd say this waterfall is quickly explored, but then if you really want to cool your body down, taking a quick dip at this waterfall is surely a great idea. Well, that's what Hanafi did, so I think 45 to 60 minutes is enough, otherwise 30 minutes will easily do. Although we aim to reach our final attraction early enough, we're forced to do another unplanned stop. Well, this is something you should always take into account. Actually, Western Sumatra is full of unexpected treasures. I know that's a phrase of Brunei's tourism board, but I do have to say it also very well applies to this region here. Well, anyway, I found one of these treasures at this beach here, and I guess I don't have to tell much because these pictures, they're really talking for themselves. Once again, I learned the fascination about Southeast Asia lays in a laid-back lifestyle. It's traditional. This very much became apparent when having seen the local fishermen returning to their village. It's really quite remarkable how this region up to this day remains unknown to the international tourism. It's actually quite a shame because it's really wonderful. Well, this is what makes this trip a lot more adventurous. These days it's really hard to find places that you can still explore as if you were a discoverer, but not in Western Sumatra. But anyway, this trip has just begun, and you can trust me, in the upcoming episodes about Western Sumatra you'll see plenty of more treasures. And yet this tour here isn't even finished. In fact, the very highlight of the day hasn't even come yet. Just got out here at the end of Batu Kalang beach, which is the place where you can book the tour to go to the Taluak Sikulo, which is basically a rock out in the sea where there's going to be a lot of waves. After having done extensive research about what places are best to visit in Western Sumatra, I found Taluak Sikulo, which to me appeared to be quite interesting. When we arrived at the base where the locals would purchase boat tours to go to Taluak Sikulo, I actually had no idea that this would turn out to be the very highlight of our first day in Western Sumatra. After negotiating with the tour operators, thanks goodness there was Hanafi who had an idea of what price we should target. We're then entering the boat and heading towards Taluak Sikulo. The boat tour, it took quite long, but then it was really refreshing. With the wind, just after this hot day, it was really perfect. Well, certainly Nato, he really seemed to enjoy it very much. On the way to the tip, we also saw a lot of local fishermen and then these beautiful boats that are very characteristic for this region. It took us around 30 minutes to reach the tip of Taluak Sikulo. You could then see the crashing waves. And wow, it just really looked beautiful to us. But then the problem was, because these crashing waves are quite violent, we couldn't arrive from the front. We actually had to enter through the back door, passing this very calm laguna. Eventually we arrived at the tip at Taluak Sikulo. We got out of the boat and then we had to walk over these very sharp rocks. The place felt very peaceful. We only heard the noise of the insects and then the crashing waves. The mood, the sunset, everything was just like a dream. But hey, it actually was real. Things were just too perfect to be true, and then that's usually the time where unexpected things would happen. So unfortunately Hanafi cut his toe at the rocks. Well, thankfully it wasn't serious, but it definitely took away some of the magic. When having returned to the island at the Laguna for taking our dinner, then when we're done, the boat motor didn't start and the sky got darker, and probably our driver back in Sungaitalang was wondering, why are these guys taking so long? Well, thankfully the tour operators, they were well prepared. There were a couple of spare boats ahead, and this allowed us to return safely to Sungaitalang. Eventually it was already dark, a thought I wasn't really comfortable with, but then I would say these minor incidences, they actually made our day so memorable. I think this is a very important thing when you travel. Sometimes things just turn out to be different, it's not always what you expect, but then it is exactly these things that can go wrong. Well, if they don't go too wrong, of course, these actually make our trip so memorable. So this is really something bear in mind. Spontaneous changes, they can actually turn out to be a lot better than you think.
So as you can see, there are so many great things you can do around Padang. If you want to know more what else you can do, then you may want to check out this video. Over there I'm going to talk about the island tour. So we want to see each other in that video.